watching the Gambia radio and television services, and it's time now for the news at 10. We begin with the headlines. President Jammeh Babil Mansa and high-powered delegation in Guinea for a visit. Deputies call for more funds for crucial sectors like agriculture, health and tourism. Mix-up at Miss Universe 2015 as the Master of Ceremonies mistakenly announces Miss Colombia as the winner of the beauty pageant instead of Miss Philippines. And a mudslide flattens an industrial park in southern China and buries dozens under tons of mud. This and other stories coming ahead this half hour. I am ALHAJI ABUBAKAR DARBO.
Regarded as one of China's worst and regarded as one of China's
Thank you for joining us. The President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor ALHAJI Dr. ALHAJI Jammeh Babil Mansa, accompanied by a high-powered delegation, left the country on Monday morning for a visit to the Republic of Guinea. The First Lady, Her Excellency Madam Zainab Yahya Jammeh, has donated a whopping $200,000 to Jammeh Foundation for Peace. The donation was formally handed over to officials of the foundation by the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissatou Njie Saidi, on behalf of Madam Jammeh. Njie tells us more.
Barely a week after the hosting of the gala night by the Jammeh Foundation for Peace, the board members of the fundraiser organization today meet at the office of the Vice President to receive a lump sum donated by the President of the foundation, First Lady Madam Zainab Jammeh.
We just want you to convey our appreciation and a very big thank you, because as Bai said, we will use this money wisely as well to help us to do our projects and school fees that we've been paying for so many kids in the Gambia, boys and girls, from here to Fatoto and so many other things as well.
The recently held night-long event brought together a host of dignitaries and Gambian artists who all entertained the guests throughout the occasion. The Permanent Secretary, Office of the First Lady, at the gathering acknowledged Madam Zainab Jammeh's devoted interests in the areas of health, education, women and youth development, and agriculture. She conveyed Her Excellency's wishes of success to the charitable foundation's projects.
Her Excellency the First Lady has a very keen interest in these areas, and for this reason supports all your initiatives and activities. She conveys her sincere appreciation and gratitude to all of you and wishes you the best in your endeavors.
Presenting the cash amount to the beneficiary organization, the Vice President, Her Excellency Ajah Dr. Aissatou Njie Saidi, thanked First Lady Jammeh for the donation and her relentless efforts to bettering the foundation, and admitted that the Operation Save the Children Foundation is complementing the efforts of the Jammeh Foundation for Peace.
I think we even appreciate it more than any donation we can get, particularly comes from the First Family, and specifically from Her Excellency the First Lady. We all know that she's the president of the Jammeh Foundation for Peace. She's done a lot for the foundation. We all know she officiated over a lot of activities at the foundation hospital, for example. She also visited the foundation offices in the past. And she has contributed a lot in her own way to the Jammeh Foundation for Peace. Of course, under the First Lady's program, today you know that there is Operation Save the Children Foundation. It also complements the efforts of Jammeh Foundation for Peace, because JFP is, at the hospital level, is dealing with maternal and child health, and that is closely related to what she's doing in the Operation Save the Children Foundation as well.
The Jammeh Foundation for Peace principal goal is to effect a significant and sustainable improvement in the quality of life of all communities in the Gambia by providing much-needed support in the health, education and agriculture sectors. This latest donation by First Lady Madam Zainab Jammeh is expected to bolster the efforts of the Jammeh Foundation for Peace in its quest for development. Njie, GRTS.
The country's lawmakers have approved the Appropriation Bill 2016, which was tabled by the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, ABUBAKAR. HN Silva was following proceedings at the Legislative Chamber, and this is his report.
From one page to another, Deputies look closely at every detail of the 2016 appropriation bill before giving it a clean bill of health.
The Honorable Minister, it is gratifying to note that there's a lot of improvement in this sector compared to what has been in those days. But notwithstanding, Honorable Speaker, I think the Ministry of Health need to focus more on quality health service delivery.
The bill was tabled before National Assembly members exactly a week ago by the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Abdul Koli, outlining government's fiscal consolidation as a vehicle to attaining economic growth and sustainable development. The statement, which outlines a significant growth in the country's gross domestic product, also shows government's increased investments on a number of important thriving sectors, such as agriculture and tourism, and the need for fiscal discipline. The finance minister's call for institutions to stay within their approved limits also resonated well with the majority leader and National Assembly member of Serekunda East constituency, Honorable ABUBAKAR leading the chorus.
This we need to control. The only way we can control this is to put down our expenditure. We are aware that our revenue performance is excellent. The revenue authorities achieve their revenue targets, and sometimes they exceed it through innovative tax administration they've introduced. But when you have a revenue versus an expenditure, where the expenditure far exceeds the revenue, you have a deficit. We are told about 3.9 billion. What is important, Honorable Speaker, is to ensure that following the approval of the budget, as much as possible, government is guided by the budget.
The majority leader's call for control in expenditure was supported by colleague deputies like NAMS for Upper Nyomi, Banjul South and Central, who also described the bill as a healthy and all-encompassing one. The trio applauded government for ensuring a sound economy during the year 2015, but pleaded for an increased funding in agriculture, tourism and security.
From the year 2007 up to the year 2016, I think he ought to be commended for that, because this is a guideline that is going to tell us how we were and how are we going on. And there had never been a budget speech that shows this trend. Maybe it was an oversight on my side, but this is the first time that I am seeing this trend. Therefore, I need to comment in on that. So, Honorable Speaker, if we pump in more money, create the environment, definitely, as the figures are showing in this document, tourism is increasing.
Other deputies from the other side of the aisle, especially Minority Leader Honorable Samba Jallo, and the newest National Assembly member for Lower Salom, Momodu Bambagay, have different views of the bill. They expressed concerns, but however joined their colleagues to call for government to increase funding for the agri and health sectors.
Honorable Speaker, I would thank the government in the area of health. There is a series of infrastructural development that I would definitely congratulate government. But another effort needs to be put on the health sector. Because sometimes you go to the hospital, if you are given a prescription, you are given only one drug. Then the order, you have to go to the pharmacy to buy. Honorable Speaker, if the total revenue and grant is estimated to a growth of 16.0%, and the non-tax revenue is estimated a decline of 16.5%. Honorable Speaker, I think if this trend continues, the Gambia will end up generating nothing without taxing people.
The majority leader again took to the floor to debunk the arguments previously made by members of the opposition party. He called on them to conceptualize and balance the budgets, since there are success stories as well as shortcomings in the bill.
Honorable Speaker, you read through the whole text. There are a lot of good things in this text, Honorable Speaker. Positive, very positive things in this text. But hardly do I hear people mention those good sides and the praising government for those things.
Honorable Jata also hailed the country's healthcare delivery system as second best in the globe, while calling on Gambians to appreciate what they have. After a long period of back and forth deliberations, the 2016 appropriation bill was finally given a clean bill of health, thereby adjourning the sessions at the National Assembly chambers until Monday, 28 December 2015. Echan Silva, GRTS News.
In the fisheries sector, drones from the Gambia, Senegal and Ghana have gathered for the final workshop of the TCP sub-regional project, which among other things seeks to help the fisherfolk in the sub-region to adapt to climate change. Details in this report by Aissatou Keita.
The start of a two-day convergence, marking the end of the sub-regional TCP project on support to climate change adaptation in marine artisanal fisheries. The two-year project, which is a sub-regional initiative implemented in the Gambia, Sierra Leone and Senegal, had its objective of raising awareness among fishing communities about the negative effects of climate change, thus reducing the risk of climate change on marine resources.
The objective of the two-year project was to enhance the resilience and adaptive capacity of fisheries livelihoods to climate change impacts and risks on artisanal marine fisheries communities in the three countries, Gambia, Senegal, and Sierra Leone. The project thus sought to build capacities of various stakeholders to better understand climate change issues and support its mainstreaming into fisheries development plans, policies, and strategies.
This convergence, marking the final meeting of the project, is set to discuss the results, challenges and opportunities that emanated during and after the implementation of the project, together with the way forward.
The lessons you will draw from your experiences will be received with all the needed attention for the benefit of our fishing communities in their effort to adapt to climate change risks and to improve their livelihoods. I will, on behalf of the three beneficiary countries, thank FAO for its efforts and assure you that we will expend every effort to scale up the good results of the project and to support its mainstreaming in our national and local fishery development plans, policies, and strategies.
In a similar but separate engagement, the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations is set to provide technical assistance to the Minister of Fisheries through a technical cooperation program on the development of artisanal fisheries in the Gambia.
Today is an important day for us because, as you know, fisheries is a very significant sector. And fisheries combined with aquaculture is even more significant. We all know that almost 50% of the fisheries resources come from aquaculture. So definitely in this country, as you know, there are three key pillars. We have the artisanal, we have the industrial, as well as aquaculture bit. FAO has given strong indication that they are willing to work with the government of the Gambia to ensure that all these three pillars, we work closely together to ensure that we realize our intended objectives.
The TCP is one of FAO's tools for contributing to the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals, and particularly the goal of eradicating extreme hunger and poverty.
The project we're launching today is funded through the Technical Cooperation Program of FAO. It's worth about $14 million and will last a period of about 2 years. And really the primary aim is to develop the subsector primarily through capacity building of fisher folks in improving fishing techniques, fish handling, processing skills, quality control, fish waste management, and to strengthen the community-based organizations that support fisheries, that engage in fisheries as a livelihood.
This TCP is a 2-year project funded by FAO to the tune of $16 million and is set to strengthen community-based organizations, thus help improve the development of the fisheries sector. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Aissatou Keita.
Young people gathered by the youth body Activista have been looking at horizontal learning, campaigning movement building, and leadership in social media. The 5-day capacity building effort is expected to help build a critical mass of young people who actively participate in decision-making and political processes. Khadijatu Jallo reports.
Activista is a youth network that focuses on empowering young people to actively participate in decision-making and issues that affect their life. With support from its international parent body through Action Aid Gambia, this week-long training of trainers is an annual event that organizers believe would serve as a platform to share knowledge with young people across the country. As representatives of different networks from different regions of the country, organizers are optimistic that participants would make best use of the opportunity.
We will urge all of you to give us that time, that opportunity, that energy, and you try and represent your regions as expected, because all of you are ambassadors of your regions or organizations that you are representing here.
This year's training is based on what we call horizontal learning process, movement building, campaigning, and social media, and where we expect participants to equip themselves with information and knowledge on horizontal learning process, movement building, campaign, and social media to enable them to transform their society to become a better place.
The Director of Administration, Banjul City Council, Matar Njai, expressed delight to be associated with this important program that seeks to promote and develop the country's future leaders.
As youths, the future leaders of the country and the future leaders of tomorrow, your value and your role in society is a very important one that cannot be overstated. That is why I am very proud to be among you this morning and to see so many of you being involved in this training, which should be useful for you and also for your contribution towards the socio-economic development of the country.
At the end of the week-long training program, according to organizers, participants would be certificated and ready to serve as trainers in their communities to effect change in the lives of many, eventually affecting positively on the socio-economic development of the country. Khadijatu Jallo, Grts News.
The race to ensure the production of enough food to feed the teeming mass of Gambians has reached another stage as communities, individuals and groups revisit their fields to gather the produce. One such group is Nyamora, a Serekunda-based body that has been actively taking part in the race to fill the national food basket. Farmer Kanyi watched members of the group harvest their Bushra farm, and he now reports.
We are just answering to the President's call. Go back to the land. Since we in Serekunda West, we don't have farms, so we decided to come to Busura, to my colleague who is the Alcalo of Busura, Aliu Badara Fay, to acquire me a place where to farm. They are from Serekunda West constituency and they are really anxious to do farming, and this is why we are here.
They have also answered to the back to the land call by President Jammeh, a proactive call meant to fight against hunger in the Gambia. The women, led by the chairperson of the Serekunda East constituency, have secured this piece of land from the Alcalo of Busura, a village 20 kilometers away from Brikama. The location of the farm is pretty much far. Mobility constraints have always hindered their turnout, this woman told GRTS. They believe their efforts will serve as a motivation to other associations in the urban areas to acquire farms in peri-urban settlements to complement the efforts of Professor Jammeh on the Vision 2016 agenda on food self-sufficiency.
For GRCS News, I am Famarakani.
We'll take our first break, but when we come back, drama at the 2015 Miss Universe contest in Las Vegas, as the Master of Ceremonies mistakenly announced the first runner-up as the winner.
Sounds promotions bu ñu oote mu neex bu ñu defee mu saf-sap guddi long time no seegi guddi beggal leen ba ngeen bekk guddi sanse dem ba jeex guddi ndaaneen dëgg teeru leen teral leen terangal leen ca diggi penc mi xool Paradise Suites Hotel up market New Year's Eve gala bu feddina ànd ak titi bu bees fente yu bees manière yu bees lekka gu bees yëf yu ees caat bu bees titi live ànd ak waa kër bari bagage di leen maas fees del ak feeling ànd ak cuxu dama ne bu leen ko kenn nettalil lii mooy programme bi New Year's Eve on the 1st of January New Year's Day super grand dance at Penchemi Hall entrance fee $500 VIP $700 2nd January waa Birkama Paralen dara du sedd léppay yëngu sa jokko Birkama titig ak yéen face à face dafa métti entrance fee $300 flat. Happy New Year to you all.
Welcome back. American television host and comedian Steve Harvey has apologized for mistakenly crowning the wrong beauty queen at the Miss Universe beauty pageant on Sunday. We have more on what was an awkward situation in the CNN report.
Sunday night, Miss Colombia celebrated being crowned Miss Universe, but her reign lasted only a few minutes.
I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Colombia. Miss Universe 2015 is Philippines.
Miss Universe 2015 host Steve Harvey misreading his cue cards and naming the wrong contestant as the winner. The two women awkwardly standing at the end of the stage, paralyzed by the snafu.
This is exactly what's on the card. I will take responsibility for this. It was my mistake. It was on the card.
Miss Colombia stripped of her crown. Stunned viewers watching as Miss Universe 2014 placed it on the head of winner Miss Philippines. The show abruptly cutting the credits. Some of the other judges taking to social media. Judge Niecy Nash tweeting this video.
Oh my God, this is crazy right now. It's pandemonium in here.
Harvey himself tweeting after the show, saying, quote, "I'd like to apologize wholeheartedly to Miss Colombia and Miss Philippines for my huge mistake. I feel terrible." Even posting a picture with Miss Philippines backstage, saying he was able to apologize to her and Miss Colombia personally, who tearfully also spoke out after the show.
Everything happens for a reason, so I'm happy.
But the newly crowned Miss Universe perfectly summing up the shocking turn of events.
It's a very non-traditional crowning moment, isn't it? Yeah, it's very 2015.
And in China, at least 91 people are missing and 900 others evacuated after a massive landslide hit an industrial park in the south of the country. Thousands of rescue workers are now sifting through the rubble in search of survivors, but rain and mud are hampering their efforts. We have more in this DWTV report.
Heavy rains and a collapse of a mountain are natural disasters, but this was not a natural disaster. This was man-made. If the government had taken proper measures in the first place, we would not have had this problem. We've been down this road before. It's crazy. The landslide occurred when huge piles of illegally dumped industrial waste, some up to 100 meters high, came crashing down with heavy rains. The wave of debris triggered a gas explosion. The disaster has once again highlighted the lack of oversight and enforcement of safety standards in China. The deputy mayor of Shenzhen said all efforts were going to the search for survivors. Our top priority at the scene is to save people. We will spare no efforts to rescue them. The second goal is to prevent further disasters which would harm our rescue workers. If there are any signs of life, we'll do our best to rescue them. Some survivors have been pulled out, but severe weather is making the search difficult. The Chinese premier has ordered an official investigation into the incident.
Well, we'll take our second break now. And over now to sports. Empowering youth through discipline, health and respect for one another was this year's theme for Karate Day celebrations organized by Gambia Karate Federation with the objective of reorientating and instilling discipline, respect and tolerance in the young. ABUBAKAR Senghor tells us more about the event.
The Karate Federation over the weekend staged a national championship as part of activities marking the National Karate Day in the Gambia. This event, presided over by the founder of Karate in the Gambia, marks a significant moment for the Karate Federation in its drive to raise awareness of the misconception of this age-old sport, of this participation of young people. It was the biggest gathering of Karate and its related disciplines, marked with the display of skills by competitors on the theme Empowering Youth Through Discipline, Health and Respect for One Another.
The ever-humble, fatherly, and committed leader gave selflessly, like I said, to his students, going to the extra miles of even buying food, gears such as mouth guards, skin guards, helmets, and other protective gears, all towards developing karate.
The development of karate sports, officials believe, will require the collective responsibility of the nation's key stakeholders in order to build a formidable structure for young people.
When the executive came in, they, we're doing all this for you. There is nothing in it for us. This is everything to do with you. Now, we want to make sure that you are the ones who will be trained to become the future leaders of tomorrow. So we want to inculcate or put into you discipline, respect, assertiveness. We want all of you to be somebody tomorrow. And the best way to be somebody is to have discipline and respect.
I would like to say definitely I'm really impressed today when I came and saw young people emulating karate, trying to showcase karate, like what Master Kaba said. If you read through karate, and what people think is all about karate is all about violence. But I 100% sure, because I was moving with one of my colleagues who was a black belt. Even if I used to fight, he used to stop me. So that means one of the most disciplined sports in this country is karate.
Dealing with the grassroots is the right step for any development initiative. The Gambia National Olympic Committee, according to Namu Traore, will continue to support karate in its drive to expand as a major sporting discipline in the country.
I tell you that the GNOS is very proud to be associated with this event. This is what the GNOS is looking for, grassroots development, because we know the future of our sports rely on the grassroots. We have to go to the grassroots to try to develop our sports. We need to try to investigate other sports. In this country, it has been a history that we always contribute on football and athletics. Now the trends have to change. That's the idea of the Olympic Committee. We have to change, look at karate sport like karate, judo, taekwondo. Those are individual sports that can bring glory to this country.
At the end of the ceremony, prizes and certificates were presented to winners of the various categories. Honoring his efforts as the founding member of the Karate Federation, Sai Mohammed Kaba Musa, one of the veterans of the sport, was hailed for his association with karate. On a day, members turned out for these important celebrations. For Grts Sport, this is ABUBAKAR Senghor.
And leave of you a recap of the day's major stories. Jame Foundation for Peace has received a donation of $200,000 from the First Lady Madam Zainab Yahya Jame. Deputies have been calling for more funds for crucial sectors like agriculture, health and tourism. There was a mix-up at the Miss Universe 2015 as the Master of Ceremonies mistakenly announced Miss Colombia as the winner of the beauty pageant instead of Miss Philippines. And a mudslide has flattened an industrial park in southern China and buried dozens on the tons of mud. That was all in this edition of the news. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. Stay tuned and enjoy GRTS.